Happy Valentine's month, everybody. I'm the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to share with you some of my favorite Valentine's Day episodes from TV shows or even movies. Um, Not everything is all lovey-dovey. Sometimes Valentine's Days deal with heartache and everything. So, some episodes will be romantic and lovey-dovey, while others will be very sad and heart-wrenching and stuff. But love is love. It doesn't always come with smiles and giggles and glee. So, I'm here today to talk to you about Power Rangers in space when push comes to shove. This is a Cassie-centered episode. I'm so happy that it focuses on Cassie because I like Cassie. She's really cool. And she has like the cutest little pigtails in this episode. She is the third Asian person to play in Power Rangers, but she is the very first Asian Pink Ranger, which was something that would be replicated as time go on, especially in Power Rangers Samurai. Which, when it comes to Power Rangers Samurai, have you noticed nobody never talks about that? Like, never. Like, you rarely hear it as people's favorites. You rarely hear people even discuss it. You don't see the merch. You don't see the stars from the show like do interviews and stuff like that. It's like they're like forgotten or something like that. But yeah, Power Rangers in Space is one of my all-time favorites. It's my second favorite. I really love it. I love the intro. I love the suits. I love how they're in space. Um, but it's not perfect. It still has that old school slapstick humor that they was trying to get out of, but they were slow. They were getting out of it by that season, and they started doing way more mature stuff, and especially when they got into Lost Galaxy. Um, One of the interesting things that I've noticed about this, in the first couple of episodes, they go back to Earth a lot. Then after that, they go and search for Zordon, and they go into all these alien planets. But when they're on Earth, have you ever noticed that they never go back to the old command center spot that blew up? It's like, you think they would. Think about it like this. All that Ranger tech got blown up and is scattered for like miles away. People are gonna get their hands on that and stuff. And it's probably how like people in like Power Rangers like Speed Rescue was able to create their own Ranger technology because it was scattered everywhere because of that explosion. Now, one problem I do have with this is the Bulk and Skull character. I do love Bulk and Skull and I love the Professor. They're funny, they're hilarious. But I don't see what point they serve in this season. They should have left when the older cast left after Turbo. Because why are they still hanging? Well, because like sometimes they will interact with the new cast, but those are teenagers and they're adults. Also, their story arc in this makes no sense in space because they're trying to discover the existence of aliens. Bulk and Skull knows for a fact aliens exist because ever since Mighty Morphin, aliens have come down to the planet and tried to destroy it. So I don't understand why they're trying to discover aliens for. Not only that, but the professor, he's kooky, so he probably doesn't never seen an alien, never pays attention to alien Destruction and Angel Grove, but Bulk and Skull has. They even went to alien planets. I don't understand their story arc in this. But like I said before, it's a Cassie-centered episode. So basically, she's at the surf spot, which is the new youth center because Ernie left and Adele took over. And so she's writing in her diary, and her and Adele are bonding, and she puts like a picture of her and Ashley in there. Anyways, her communicator goes off and she runs to like take care of whatever situation it is. And so which I think is actually nothing. So they just called her for like no reason. But anyways, when she's back at school, her and Ashley are walking and she realizes she lost her diary. She says it's a big deal because she has a picture of herself as a Power Ranger in there. Why would she do something so stupid like that? I have no earthly idea. But when it comes to Bulk and Skull and Professor, their story arc is that the Professor has created a new thing of plutonium. Astronomer wants it, so she sends a monster to go get it. So Cassie ends up getting blackmailed by George and Lenny. And George is kind of like Lenny's best friend. George is this big bulky dude. Lenny's just like this scrawny nerdy dude. And Lenny never talks for himself, so George does everything for him. George is kind of like his wingman, and so he bribes Cassie, talking about you get the diary back, but you have to go on a date with Lenny. So they go on a date, and so George is there too, talking for Lenny, which is very weird and unusual. And so, like, he tells him the reason why he speaks for him all the time because Lenny would just say something stupid. So Cassie comes up with a plan. She's gonna ditch George, and her and Lenny gonna go on their date, and they actually have fun when they go on their date. He wants to go on this building and have like lunch. It's the same building with the plutonium. Mm-hmm. See. And so, like, as they're there, Astrama sends down this like elephant monster, and he's like wrecking havoc on this building. Now, one thing about Power Rangers in space, they use a lot, and I mean a lot of Sentai footage. Sometimes they overdo it. The Sentai footage they use is actually pretty cool. It builds the story a whole lot better, I'll have to say. And there's less cheesiness and stuff like that. So I appreciate it. That's when they start going a more mature tone, especially in the Zord stuff. I've never seen so much cockpit Zord dialogue in my life, and they have a lot in space, and it's very stylized, very detailed. And so like um as the building is about to like fall, like the rubble's going their way. They're the only two people left in the building. So with him knocked out, she was about to morph, but he wakes up. So they're trying to get out the building, but they go into a room with the plutonium, and it's leaking, about to explode. So she's about to morph again, but the Rangers come and save the day in the Mega Tank, which is this land vehicle and everything. I never really understood the purpose of that, but it's cool. The way the Sentai footage uses it is cool. There's two models of it. There's like a little toy model, and then there's an actual real one where they can actually get in and stuff like that. And it actually rides, but they didn't flip the footage, so it looks like they're driving on the left side of the road. So anyway, they save her. They stop the plutonium from blowing up. She morphed, all pissed off, and they fight the Tusk dude in the Megazord. And it's a cool like fisticuff type thing, right? So they defeat the monster, and then so Lenny now is finally talking from himself. He apologizes for taking the diary, and he wants to go on a second date. But then Cassie has something up her sleeve. She decides she's going to do a double date and persuade Ashley to go so she can date George. All in all, this was a cute episode. It was a funny episode. It was a nice little Valentine's Day episode. And so, like, yeah, it's not like the greatest episode, but it's like cute. You know what I'm saying? Now, wasn't that romantic? Or depressing, depending on what kind of video I just talked about. Okay, well, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And bye.